EMI Radio, the 4th of March. And I'm not alone. I'm Miguel, your host, together with Vujo. Vujo is a Polish drag king, performer based in Warsaw, who has been featured in season 2 of Drag Duo and identifies as he, him, pronouns. And his stage name is Vujo. Vujo comes from this Polish word that is uncle, and his performances often blend storytelling, comedy, theatrical flair. Beyond battles and shows, he creates drag events like Drag Save the King and Illuminati, and engages in queer community events across Warsaw and Europe. I'm so excited. Welcome to the show, Vujo.
Welcome. Hi. Thank you for introducing me. That was so nice.
Oh, it's so lovely. I'm here. I'm excited. I've seen the things that you do. I had a glimpse of your magic, and I wanted to know more. I want to know more about Vujo. How does that come to be? Where does it come from?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Where does drag come from in general is a question pondered by many. I think there's been like hundreds or thousands of theses written on it and papers, and they have not yet found the answer. So I'll just try to give you mine. In my case, my drag has started from comedy and from celebrity impersonation, and it has been 6 years now that I have started like dipping my little fingers into drag, but I've been doing drag as Vujo since 2021, the end of 2021. So now it's 2026. So it's 5 years almost that I can say that Vujo has been existing in the comedy and theater and queer scenes in general.
Growing up, have you ever thought about this drag king performing in Warsaw? Have you ever thought about were you a person already looking for the spotlight, or performing or sharing your message, your idea, your story like that growing up?
I'd say I was extremely unaware of the possibility of becoming anything like a drag king. I didn't know they had any of these. I wanted to perform though. Even my mom says, like, every time I mention drag, she says, "Oh, like you've been wanting to perform even like from the very early childhood." But it was quite limited to the opportunities that children are given on a daily basis. So I'd say like kindergarten shows, etc. I wouldn't mind like sharing any kind of message. I didn't have any specific messages. I think I just wanted to be in the spotlight, as many people who do drag do. And only recently this message has come to shape that has been like drag kingy and more interesting as such, I'd say.
And where does the name come from as a drag king persona?
It's a funny story because like I knew I wanted my drag name to start with a V, just because it's in Polish culture. There's this thing of like names having a V or an X, oftentimes in places that make like kind of no sense, but make it look more international. So it's like instead of like, let's say, Violetta with a W, you are a Violetta with a V, which is like more, it has this kind of like a cool pizzazz to it. And it's like the names that are sounding more international have come to Poland after the transformation, so like 30 years ago or more than that. I used to call myself Vanessa for a period of time before I became a drag king as such. And I knew I wanted to continue being like something with a V, something that sounds international, but then I picked the most Polish word, which is like vujo, which means an uncle. So it's like a combination of those two different worlds, like the one that's like super cool, international, sparkly, and the one that's like kind of mundane and like just very out of the mill, which is like the name Vujo.
Talking about a combination of these both worlds, I mean your performances combine comedy, combine theater. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many different characters and amazing costumes. What defines the mood of your performances? Because I saw something that it can be devilish and some things that can be very sweet and what defines that those numbers?
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, I would say it's pretty much about like the vibe I get booked for, primarily because I'm so unlimited by the like just one convention, and trying to dip into like comedy, more serious stuff also. But I would say like as with every artist, it's pretty much about like where I'm at in my artistic journey. And oftentimes, if I'm like exploring more serious topics, I would just go there. And even if the show is like more unserious, I would still kind of like bring this more serious note just in a different way. And I'm really inspired by what we as a queer community are going through, just like on in a daily sense, but also like my own, um, I'd say my own history with music, with like becoming queer, like realizing I'm queer, more like. Um, so it's just like a bit of a mix, which makes it more likely for people to identify with, like just to pick one element they're vibing with. But also, if somebody was to deconstruct my art, they would need like a proper notepad and like some reference book and a bit of time to kind of like go into all the things, because it's just like a bit of a mix of everything sometimes.
You've been at the drag duo
Yeah.
and creating these events like the drag save the queen, the king, drag
Yeah.
save the king, and all those events in Warsaw. What's your favorite memory from all that?
Oh, that's fun. That's a fun question. I think like the most beautiful memories are made with people, even though like drag tends to be a bit of a lonely sport sometimes, because when we produce our music, we prepare our costumes, we oftentimes do it alone, and then we come off to the stage to see the audience. It's like very cool. We connect with them, but also we connect with the other people who we share the stage with. So I would say I really cherish the memory of every show I got to do, especially like even with Drag Save the King, like remembering when we had like such a huge turn up, and so many people came over. And we were told before, like, oh, don't expect a crowd because like it's a Drag King show, but like still people came over, and we're doing Drag Save the King in 1 month also. It's like the event was just published like yesterday, and it's gonna be like even greater than it was the first few times, because we have great people coming from abroad to do it. Like for the first time, we have like people from the Czech Republic, or Czechia, I should say. We have people coming from Germany. We have great performers from here in Warsaw. So I'd say like just getting to share the stage with those people and talk to them, talk with them about like how our experiences are similar, how they're different, because we're all doing theoretically the same thing, right? We're all drag kings, but our inspirations are so different, our experiences are so different. It's just like so exciting, but also it's really inspirational to see that we are getting the same struggles, and with the same struggles we get to have like very different solutions to face them. So I really love that. And even now counting, I'd say like we've had like more than 10 international performers, just from like Drag Save the
Oh
King.
wow, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's quite a lot, because like before there was no like reason for them to come to Poland, and now like since the show is a reason and they can perform, it's really just like it's just fun to have this international platform, but like within Poland, because it's also like introducing Polish and international audiences to the types of drag they have not seen before at all. So I'd say like each of those shows is a great memory, and each of the like each of the shows leaves a memory of like just also like chilling backstage 3 a.m. Like the vibe. um and with each of those groups, it has been like such a great adventure, but also something that is really moving on this like personal level, because we just connect so much without knowing each other that well.
Lovely, lovely. For someone that hasn't been to a drag king show yet,
Mm-hmm.
what should they expect?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, probably drag kings will be there. For those who don't know what a drag king is, like you may know what a drag queen is. So it's like the same but different. So the sources are different. Instead of like making characters based on this very bold depiction of femininity, we can see characters based on masculinity, and it's also like extremely bold version. Sometimes as bold as some very camp performers. We have drag kings who do characters based on wrestlers. We have drag kings who get inspired by cartoons, by villains from different movies, but also like from very, very different characters from Polish and international culture. So I'd say expect good fun, expect some undressing. There's often some stripping going on, as with drag shows. We have a queer audience there. They want to have fun, but obviously there is also some more family friendly drag shows. So just check the depiction and the description of the show, so that you get to choose the show you're ready for with your group. I'd say also expect a lot of comedy oftentimes, because drag kings are doing comedy more often than queens, I'd say, because queens often do acts based on this like pop diva culture,
Mhm.
and with kings there is oftentimes like a lot of twists and turns. So bring your thinking brain with you and be ready to do some googling after after you see a drag king show. But just uh, just come over and chill would
Yeah,
also be my advice. You don't have to think too much if you don't want to. It's all just good fun.
very cool, very cool. Are there, if there are any misconceptions about drag kings, that maybe you like to share or clarify?
Mhm.
Mm. Are there any?
I think there may be, like,
Mhm.
also coming from the fact that they are not as represented in the popular drag culture, because popular drag culture is shaped by RuPaul's Drag Race, which has not been accepting drag kings because of some outdated views on the side of like producers and showrunners. And on that, well, we don't have as much influence. So I'd say this mostly just stems from that. However, drag kings have been around since ages, and even in 18th century, you had like a bunch of drag kings, or I should say, male impersonators, filling in like huge theaters. Because they were doing some like vaudeville type songs and dances, and there was like super excited for that. So I'd say that's the main misconception. But as we know, like culture is usually shaped by the last, let's say, 20 years, what people can remember. And we tend to forget what came like back in the past. And even in Poland, there used to be like very popular drag king boy band, which has now been, I wouldn't say forgotten, but since they're not as active, you cannot really see them on stage anymore. But some of these performers are still somewhere with us, maybe not on the stage, but in the crowd, and still supporting, and still being a part of the community.
Oh wow! And you've been performing not just in Poland but abroad,
Mm-hmm.
around Europe, and how would you compare the scene? How would you compare the support, the structure that you have with other European countries?
I'd say like this support is everywhere because like drag community, but also drag king community, drag monster community too, uh, is very supportive. That's just in general for like especially if it's like full of queer trans people. It's just like us meeting each other, vibing. We're always like lifting each other up. I would say the only difference I see is like how many people are in the community in each country. And like in Poland, the community has been growing a lot. There's like almost 100 kings like now in Poland, which is great. But also like in the UK, you can see it's like even bigger, and only London has like more than 100 drag kings. So it's a bit more mature of a scene in a sense that it's just like more performers. But also like the inspirations come from different sources. In the UK, they love theatrical drag. They're very inspired by panto. They're very inspired by their culture, their movies, and it's not as easy to translate it to like the context we would understand unless you saw all the episodes of Doctor Who. Did you?
No, I
Me neither. That's why,
haven't.
like, I know they do have like a show running regularly in London, which is like heavily inspired by Doctor Who and heavily referencing Doctor Who. And I know I would not understand a single thing, but I know it's like a very British thing to have like this kind of like super themed show, which is cool,
Yeah,
but is also like for the geeks
for the fan fanatics.
and
Yeah, yeah,
for the fan
yeah, yeah,
fanatics,
yeah.
and with music that's loud, with all the things that happen in the club. So with all due respect to the clubs, they tend to be a bit demanding, especially if you're a person experiencing ADHD, for example, or if you're on the autism spectrum, or any other neurological condition which influences the way you perceive the world. And in my case, like being in a loud club, well, it's very demanding. And especially since I'm sober, etc. So I'd say we needed spaces that feel cozy, but still do drag. So you can be cozy, but you can still serve, and you can still serve without the loud music and without like all the fireworks, and the whole spectacle of the nightlife. So it's called ASMR Queer Experience. We have done it in Warsaw 3 times already. Now we're doing it in London. It's going to be a part of Sprint Festival, which is organized by Camden People's Theatre, a very lovely collective which is home to a lot of queer art. And I'm really excited that we get to do it our way. So we have like a full hour to showcase some neurodivergent friendly acts. And what's also quite fun is that during every show we do like games with the audience. So that just doesn't go only one way, and they don't only get to watch, but they get to stim a bit too. And by stimming, I mean like draw, I mean, like play with the things that we bring, so that they just have a really cute and enjoyable experience.
Wow. Yeah. So if you're listening, you're going to London, around London, you have friends in London. I mean, Polish people um, uh, always have some cousins, some people living in London. So tell your family that Vujo is performing in London soon, on the 14th, on
Please.
the 14th of
Yes, on the
March.
14th. This
Yeah.
is Saturday, so Saturday 7:15 p.m. So perfect time to enjoy some drag, and then go to sleep maybe, or I don't know, watch a series that you always watch at this time, or just drink tea and have a nap or something. Just have fun with your dog. Whatever you want to do on a Saturday evening that just like soothes you and gives you a good time.
Right. Now I have a question for you. So we talked about the limitations a little bit,
Yes.
but if someone gave you complete creative freedom and budget
Mm.
for one wild performance idea, what would Vujo show look like?
That would be amazing. Oh my God. I'd say I'm really inspired. Like if I got to if I got to have unlimited budget and logistics, which is also like quite draining budget wise, I would do a dragking show that's inspired by Alejandro Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain,
Okay.
which is inspired by the occult and tarot, but in a way of like a person's journey from being a fool to being someone who has experienced a lot. Like it's a journey of archetypes. So I would do a huge occult show with like 100 drag kings dancing in a huge pyramid. I
Sounds amazing. My
Yeah,
goodness.
come to my shows now, and in a few years, I'm gonna serve you this delicacy of a show, and hopefully, it would be fun not only for us performers but also for the audience.
Hmm. So what's missing? What's missing in the current Warsaw drag king scene? What do you feel that is
Mm.
missing?
I'd say like one drag king space, but it's like not only with drag kings. I'd say it's with all the queer audiences as compared to just like gay audiences in general. Because if you're just looking for a club to go to and you want to party, you're gonna find a club to go to, and like party and I know kiss your boyfriend and dance. It's There are spaces like that, but if you're queer, if you're trans, if you're neurodivergent, also, if you're in any way uncomfortable with this like very generic way of spending time at the club, then you're gonna have a hard time like just kind of finding the space that fits your needs right now. We have a bunch of shows that are happening like in different spaces, just like outside of the queer bubble around Warsaw. We have a bunch of initiatives, but I'd say we don't really have like this one go-to place that comes to your mind whenever you think, okay, I want a queer experience. But hopefully, maybe it's gonna happen. I know Krakow is working on there because they have Domek, and it's run by an NGO, Znaki Równości, which is also like inside the scene, and they do this kind of like auto representative thing. So they know their community, they know what to offer. In Warsaw, we don't really have like this the same thing. So I'm really hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that we get to have this sort of like safe haven because we do need it, and our community is not limited to party goers.
Hmm. Hmm. And what do you love doing when you're not in this world of noise and crowds and sparkles and beautiful costumes?
Hmm. I'd say I like to do work on my costume. I really like doing wigs. I take commissions sometimes. I do masculine wigs because they are not as popular. They are not as accessible to, especially to like baby drag kings. So I do like just like doing this kind of a mundane task of either like working on a wig or I don't know, glowing rhinestones or something. Um, it's kind of it puts me in this like chill zone. But apart from I have a dog. I like just chilling with my dog. I like chilling with my partner. I just like, I'd say, whatever can be the balance to mm, the demand that working in a nightlife puts on you,
Hmm.
because it does put a bit of a toll on our nervous systems or on our habits, I'd say. Um, so whatever is chill, I'm into that. Yeah,
A contrast between that, yeah, between
yeah,
the performance life
yeah.
and everything else. Beautiful, beautiful. And what are your future projects? What can we expect from you in the upcoming months or so?
So exciting.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, my London show coming very, very soon, but also for those of you who are not in London and are not supposed to be in London anytime soon, but you're in Warsaw or supposed to be in Warsaw, we are doing a Drag Save the King in Warsaw. And the next day in the same venue, there's going to be Demon Lesk, also organized by a friend of mine who's also a drag king. So for Drag Save the King, we're gonna have Ruby Tuesday, an amazing performer from Germany. We're gonna have Rudy Daddy, and Chad Clit from Prague. And they're great performers. You have to go and see them. And we're gonna have amazing duo doing burlesque, but also drag, which is Rin and Madame Medusa. Yeah, our local stars from Warsaw, Poland, and it's a really exciting show. But also, what's maybe important for those of you who have not been to that venue, because it's gonna be in Voodoo, that we're gonna have some seating space. So you don't have to worry, because some people worry. For example, if you have some sort of like walking impairment or you get tired easily, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to go because maybe tiring, but we're gonna have some seats that you can book, so you can book yourself a seat and you can just watch the show sitting, which is quite rare for those kinds of shows, especially when it's like a bigger one. So you can now already like get to know more about it. It's on the 17th of April. Then the Demon Lesk is on the 18th, for those of you who also want to see some burlesque. And overall, there's going to be a bunch of really exciting things coming. I can already tell you that I'm going to be probably producing a bit of a musical themed thing. Yes,
Ooh.
for those of you who are Rocky Horror Picture Show fans, there might be
Ooh.
something coming your way soon. More details to be announced. But also for those of you who are now thinking where, you can follow me on Instagram, because my Insta is at callmevujo, Vujo with the Vujo. And I'll be posting all the events coming there. So yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Follow Vujo around. Beautiful. So many things. Oh wow. I honestly I didn't know what to expect. I was able to have a glimpse of her art, of her performance, and I didn't know what the interview would look like. But then I'm so grateful. The most beautiful human being, and thank you so much for coming and sharing, inspiring our audience, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. And like likewise, I'm really happy that we got to have this talk. I felt extremely welcome. So stay tuned for the next episodes then, because like I'm sure all the other guests are gonna be just as exciting as I was.
Oh, fantastic. Wish you all the best, and I'll see you on stage shining. And yes, this is it. This is our Miguel on the radio on the 4th of March. It was a pleasure. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. We're enjoying. The spring is almost upon us. The weather is nice. Warsaw is the place to be. Thank you so much, Emi Radio, for having me. And this was Miguel on the radio. Have a great week. See you next Wednesday. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.